Or really get a listening from me if you don't know that I had a life that was not worth fucking living. It's easy to feel like a victim. It's easy to feel like a lone wolf, but even in my story, there's parallels for you, right? I grew up with two parents who came from immeasurable amounts of pain and suffering, and that it was no accident that when they had me, the only thing they knew how to do was pass that down. I was subjected to alcoholism, to addiction, to domestic violence abuse. My parents used me as ammunition. I grew up very unsure and unstable, very emotionally chaotic, right? And a lot of people can relate to that. But even in the midst of all that turmoil, my parents still tried to do the best they could to show me that they love me, but their idea of love was broken. And it was broken because it came with conditions, it came with contracts, right? So it's not really an accident that I never felt okay. I never felt safe. I didn't feel worth it. I strived and I groveled to take anything I could from the outside fucking world so I could feel okay. So when I got to my first substance, I fucking reveled in that shit, right? Because for the first time, I felt normal. I felt okay. I felt like I could be anybody. And listen, I played the drug game for years. And when my mom took her life when I was 16, I went even deeper. But inside of all these circumstances that happened, my human had to make up some shit in order to validate and verify the things I was doing, right? So then I became an addict, right? I'm obsessive and I'm compulsive. I had to make sense of it, right? Which only drove me deeper. I went homeless on the streets of Ventura, California. I intravenously used every substance you could imagine. I came back to Montana where I live and I continued to do the same thing. And even at my breaking point, at my spiritual turning point, when I had an awakening that looked like you either get clean and you change your life or you die, even when I chose to get clean, I still lived a life stuck in a bubble of my past, right? That my parents are who I am, that trauma is who I am, my drug use is who I am, I'm an addict, my relationship breakdowns, that's who I am, and I kept relating to myself from the past. I've done every modality, spiritual body of work that you can imagine. I spent years in 12-step programs. I spent years talking to all these different gods. And something I can tell you is I never had a level of freedom or an access point that looked like, wow, no matter where I go, I have a choice about who I am. I'm not my past. Until I started doing work with my brother-in-law and we created a framework where we now teach people how to get access to who they are, right? So if you don't ever watch anything, if you don't ever give a fuck about anything I say, that's perfectly okay. If you never resonate with any of my videos, if I talk too much, if the shit I say is too wordy and it's too perfectly put together, that's okay. But if this is the only video that you ever watch and you watch the whole thing, I want you to know that I have been to the bottom of every fucking insufferable, hopeless pit you can imagine. And the person that I am right now, as I sit and talk into my little fucking screen, is that I'm someone that has a choice today about who I am. And I'm never going to relate to myself with what I did, who I was, or what I was subjected to, so that I take a stand for that in other people.